Okay, so that last video got cut short, so we're gonna keep on a second part. We've got our estimate that we were working on with this trailer, doing some gas work, adding some parts, gas regulator, and we talked about the fees. What we may need to do is we need to add some notes. These can be notes for both the customer, they can be notes for the technician. Make the gas reg is put in a protected space. You don't want anybody knocking that over and causing a gas leak. So we'll save that note, and of course, you can have as many notes as you want in our system. So there it is, and you can come back and edit it, delete it, whatever. Next, we can do upload file. Okay, so let's go pick a couple pictures. If you want to do that on yours, you can do that. It's going to pull those up, saves them to this estimate, saves it to the customer, and also saves them to the vehicle, which in this case is a trailer. But you can just click on it, and that'll open up a full view of it. Then we can close that. Okay, so it looks like we got our estimate together. And let's go back out to our home page by clicking the icon in the upper left, and we'll take a look and see what it looks like on the home screen. So here it is, this first one, 8489. You can open it by clicking Open Estimate. You can see that's in estimating status. You got the customer, you got the vehicle. Those are both links that will take you to the details for each of them. You have a description, who the assigned manager is, who the assigned tech, the current amount that it cost when it was created. Okay, so if we just click Open Estimate, we can go in here. Takes a second to pull it up. Okay, so some other things we didn't go over the first time. You've got some buttons up here. Some people do inspections. What that does is allows you to create a list of red, yellow, green, fail, warning, pass options. If we click that on whatever vehicle you're working on, this is most used for when you're doing maintenance on a vehicle, such as a diesel truck or a car. When it comes in, you may do an inspection. Some restoration services places will do an inspection automatically whenever a car comes in. So we do base vehicle inspection. We'll click that open, and that opens up. And this is, of course, all configurable to whatever your needs are. Okay. And we can do that, and that can actually be sent to the customer. We have some other videos that get into that process a bit, so we'll sort of skip over that, go back to our estimate. Then we have the job button, but also on the right we have a send a text to the customer. If you just need to send a quick text message, click this button and a little pop-up should pop up. There we go. This text from the estimate, and we can just click that, and that'll send that text message. And I can feel my phone buzzing. Then we can also email this estimate, put a little message. This is the estimate. That'll go straight off. That's sent via email. The email will come formatted in the estimate. We also we also create a PDF and attach it. To print this, you simply click the printer button. It will render a PDF that you can print. This is the same PDF that is sent off to the customer via the email. The PDF that you see here is fully customizable. So you got your notes down here, all your different fees, parts, labor are on there. Okay. So if we back arrow, we go back to our estimate, we can see the next option is this 3 sheets of paper. What that's for is more advanced piece that will take you into the very details of the estimate, where you can get into a lot of details like recommendations and notes on specific line items, discounts at line item level, and all kinds of stuff like that. See the sales tax and all that. These 3 dots that's the details or advanced option for this estimate, where if you need to cancel, do some other things in there, you can. And this unfolded box right here, this last one, is the ability to save this estimate as a standard job if you want to reuse it again. that will do that. Okay, so we've got our estimate. Everything looks good. Next thing we need to do is create a job. So let's just let's go back out to our home page. Okay, so we're still in estimating here. If we click this open estimate, we can create the job. Okay, so this is actually creating the job. It's taking all that data and moving it over to the job area. It's also notifying the technician that is assigned to this job that they have work to do. As a lot of you may be aware of, in shop methods, you can actually track time that a technician works on each task, and that's done in the tech portal. We're not going to go into that too much. So when we in this video, so when it first comes up, you got all your information up here at the top about the job. Basically, it's the same stuff from the estimate. Some of the other things is you get these little blue icons. If you hover over them, you can see the details of that customer, their address, their phone number, email. The same thing with the vehicle. You can actually see the tag and that information. If you click them, you will be taken to the details for that. It's in a new job status. That means no one has done any work on it. In order to actually do work and track time by a technician, it must be started. And the technician does that when they place it in working on their side. We can do the same thing up here. What it also does, as you're using time, is it will start tracking time that job is in process. Then we have labor cost over here on the job. A bit more detailed breakdown of what the total cost of the job is. Also, we have this labor information, the profit information. Tells you basically how much you're making on each one of these things and gives you a ballpark total profit. This is helpful to make sure that your parts, that you're not going underwater with doing anything. Okay, so underneath we have our labor, parts, and fees. They're broken out a little differently in the job. They're in a tab format. So we got labor, parts, and fees. And notice on here, you can create new parts just as if you were in the estimate. So once you get to the job and you forgot something or something's been added, you don't have to go all the way back to the estimate. You can go ahead and add them here. If you want to add them to the estimate, you can do that. So we're going to put this in working. So that means it's working. And if we come back, we'll see things kind of flip over. Okay, so it's setting up. Okay, so our job is now in process. So we got in process for these. Okay. So they're out there doing work. If you need to, you can actually set statuses on these by clicking that check mark. It'll go and say, okay, this specific task is complete. And this is helpful if your customer is using our customer portal or the fleet portal, where they can keep track of things and see what's going on. And they don't have to call you and say what's the status. Okay, so we're going and doing our work. Most of the work that's done when the job is in process is done in the tech portal, and that's a different video. So that's for tracking time. So we're going to go ahead and do complete this by doing complete. And what that's going to do is just going to mark everything complete. That shuts off all the time that's being tracked by the technician. The technician can also set it complete based on your configuration. Okay, so everything is complete. What we notice the big difference here is we now have an invoice button. We can go and create the invoice. Go click that, create invoice. It takes a second here because it's going over, it's creating the invoice, and it's also sending all this information over to QuickBooks. If you are using QuickBooks, this means your invoice is automatically sent over. You don't have to do double entry. And it will be very descriptive over in QuickBooks. But if you're not using QuickBooks, this will go a lot quicker. Okay, so invoice 782 is created. We're going to be redirected to the invoice page. Here we go. Okay, here's our invoice. If you're using the customer portal with our text to pay option, your customer will get a text at this point, and they can actually pay via the customer portal on their computer or their phone. We're just going to go ahead and pay this. Now, we're going to pay it twice, or with 2 payments. So let's do $200, and we're going to pay that by credit card. You have a couple different options, and this list is configurable. So if you have ACH or something like that, we can put that in here. Do credit card, and it's going to come up with our actual screen, and we can pay this by credit card. So it's going out to talk to our credit card provider. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Put our test credit card in there. Put all the information in there. Everything looks good. Charge that credit card. So again, this is a test system that's going out and hitting a test credit card. And it's going to come back, hopefully, with an authorization. And credit that job $200. Okay, so invoice was $541.04. We paid $200. We have $341.03 remaining. So there's a little rounding in there because of sales tax. So, and here is our credit card payment. So if we want to pay the rest of this off, we can do it by check or whatever you want. We'll do it by check. Put check number in there, pay that.